Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Ole Gunnar Solsjaer must start Donny van de Beek in the Premier League. Donny van de Beek has not yet made his full Premier League debut for the football club. But he has been getting his opportunities in Europe. And he was absolutely exceptional yesterday night in our 4-1 win against Istanbul Başakşehir. He was good at winning balls, spraying balls. Obviously, he was calling for the ball a lot, and he was everywhere on the pitch, like I mentioned on my match reaction. He was playing in a deeper role. And I think that's his best position. You know, he can obviously play in like 3 different roles, can't he? Against RB Leipzig, we started him in that number 10 role. And you can also put him on that right-hand side. Now, we paid £40 million for him from Ajax. And he signed a 5-year contract with the football club. And he currently wears that number 34 shirt. Now, Donny van de Beek did reveal during the international break that Solsjaer told him to be patient and wait for his opportunities. So I'm hopeful that Donny van de Beek can make his first start in the Premier League on Sunday against Southampton. Now, I think Bruno Fernandes is absolutely world class. He's probably one of the best midfielders in the world. Definitely Manchester United's best player. He has made the difference in the team. Now, if it wasn't for Bruno Fernandes, we'd probably be in a worse position than we're already in. Bruno Fernandes scored twice yesterday. His first goal was fantastic. You know, it was a very, very good volley. The second goal obviously came from a mistake from Istanbul Başakşehir's goalkeeper. So yeah, he was the man of the match. Bruno Fernandes also scored that retaken penalty against West Brom in our last league game. And he also scored twice against Everton and also got an assist. Fernandes has like 21 goals now in 35 games for Manchester United. And I think he's provided around 15 assists. Bruno Fernandes does play in that number 10. Solskjaer's come out and said that Bruno Fernandes does need a rest. But it's going to be difficult to see how we cope without him. Now, Fernandes has been at Manchester United for almost a year. A lot of his goals have come from the penalty spot. Last season, he won Premier League Player of the Month twice. And he also won some Matt Busby Player of the Year award. We paid €55 million for him from Sporting Lisbon back in January. And Fernandes is under contract with Man United until 2025. He could have got a hat-trick yesterday night, but he decided to let Rashford take the penalty. Now, I want to give you an update on Mauricio Pochettinho. So, according to Jamie Jackson, who's a journalist, he's told Stretty News that Man United have not made a formal approach for Pochettinho, and he says we will stick with Solskjaer. Jamie Jackson is from The Guardian. Now, there's obviously been a lot of rumours of Mauricio Pochettino becoming Manchester United's next manager. He's obviously been the favourite to take over at the football club. Now, the Manchester Evening News said quite a few weeks ago that we approached Mauricio Pochettino over becoming the club's new manager. Rio Ferdinand did say though, didn't he, that we haven't made any contact with Pochettino over replacing Solsjaer at the club. And he was frustrated with the disrespect that's been shown to Ole. So basically, Jamie Jackson is saying the exact same thing as what Ferdinand said a few weeks ago. He was on Monday Night Football quite a few weeks ago now, and Pochettino made it clear that he's missing football and he's ready for a return to management because he's been managerless now for like a year. I like Mauricio Pochettino. You know, he's a good manager. You know, he's well proven in the Premier League. His philosophy's good. And he's dealt with top players. Like I've said time and time again, my only element of concern about him, he's not won anything in terms of silverware. He did endure 5.5 years with Tottenham, and analysing the vast majority of his tenure with Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. He did guide Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final last year. He also guided them to 2 FA Cup semi-finals, and he guided them to the League Cup final. He also did well at Southampton, Pochettino, before he was at Tottenham. He enjoyed a short tenure with Southampton, but he guided them to their highest ever finish in the Premier League era. Before he was at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. So far he's managed 3 clubs in his managerial career. He did say that he was watching the likes of Man United, Man City and Chelsea not so long ago. But he says we will have to act soon if we want Mauricio Pochettino. Pochettino hasn't only been the manager on our agenda. Obviously Massimiliano Allegri, he's been on our agenda. Julian Nagelsmann, he's been on our agenda. But yeah. But the club will stick with Solsjaer for now. We have been in a good vein of form recently because we have won our last 3 games in all competitions. You know, we beaten Besiktas 4-1 yesterday night. We beaten West Brom 1-0 and we beaten Everton 3-1. And we are 1 point away from getting into the knockout stages of the Champions League. We've actually done very, very well in Europe, so we've obviously now got to replicate that in the Premier League. You know, Solskjaer has been under pressure this season at Manchester United because we have enjoyed a pretty poor start to the season in the Premier League. Obviously, you know, we had the 3-1 loss to Palace on the opening day of the season. We had the 6-1 hammering of Tottenham. We had the 1-0 defeat to Arsenal quite a few weeks ago. We had the 2-1 loss to Istanbul Besiktas in Turkey. From Manchester United perspective, that was an absolute embarrassment. And I think the lineup Solskjaer went with yesterday night is one of Manchester United's best 11. If he'd put Paul Pogba in there instead of Fred, I think it would have been our best 11. There's issues at the football club that Solskjaer's got to solve. Obviously, he's got to solve the Paul Pogba issue. He's got to identify his best 11, because I don't think he knows his best 11, to be honest with you. He's also got to select the right formation. Ole has gone a lot with a 4-2-3-1 formation since he got appointed in as Man United manager. In like the big games, he's gone with a 3-5-2 formation. A few times he's gone with that 4-3-3 formation. Hasn't he? Now, our next game is Southampton. That is on Sunday away. And it's a must-win game for Manchester United. It's going to be a difficult game with Southampton, because Southampton have been in a good vein of form. They did recently draw, though, with Wolves 1-1. Southampton are sitting 5th in the Premier League. That's good to their standards, and they've registered 17 points from their opening 9 games. The game at St Mary's last season between Southampton and Man United was 1-1. I think we've got a pretty good record at Southampton, and it was 2-2 at Old Trafford last season. Southampton, like I've already said, they've got some very, very good players in their team. They've obviously got Donny, who I think is probably one of their best players. He's been out with injury. They've also got Stuart Armstrong. They've got Nathan Redmond, who I like. They've got Obafemi. They've obviously got Theo Walcott on loan. They've got Che Adams. They've got that Salisu. They've got Romeu. They've got Ryan Bertrand, who I like a lot. They've got that Vestergaard, who I like. They've got Kyle Walker-Peters. And they've got a good manager in Ralph Hasenhüttl, and I've got to give him a lot of credit because he has turned Southampton around. I think since they lost 9-0 to Leicester, Southampton have really, really bounced back. Now, I do think for the game on Sunday, Solsjaer will make some changes from the 4-1 win against Istanbul Başakşehir yesterday night. But there again, Solsjaer only made 2 changes in the game yesterday from the 1-0 win against West Brom. Now, I've got some news on Wan-Bissaka and Victor Lindelof. I think I mentioned it on my match reaction. Wan-Bissaka's got a problem with his ankle. That's why he went off. And Victor Lindelof's got a problem with his back. All he said is just hopeful that they're going to be available for Sunday's game. Paul Pogba, he didn't play any part against Istanbul Başakşehir yesterday night because he's swollen his ankle, according to Solskjaer. Paul Pogba didn't play any part in the game against West Brom either because of this. So Paul Pogba could be available for Sunday. Luke Shaw, we know that he's out with a hamstring injury. He's out for 4 to 6 weeks with this hamstring injury. That's my only element of concern about Luke Shaw. He's far too injury prone. Scott McTominay, he didn't play any part against Istanbul Başakşehir, so could be involved against Southampton. Beek, I think he's now back from injury because, he did have a muscle injury, didn't he? Jones, he's still injured. Jesse Lingard's obviously self-isolating because he's been in contact with someone who's had COVID-19, like Ollie confirmed. So, yeah, and after Southampton, we play PSG. That's going to be a difficult game. Like I said, we only need 1 point from our 2 remaining games to get into the knockout stages. I think we can do it. I really, really do. But Solskjaer's taking nothing for granted. Then after that, it's West Ham. Then RB Leipzig. And then Manchester City. So games are coming up thick and fast for Manchester United. So obviously, it's very imperative that we keep players fit. It's good that we are making plans for next year because obviously next year Manchester United are looking to make more signings. We're also looking to get rid of more players because there is still deadwood in the squad. Now, yeah, like I said, we've got a lot of players on our agenda who we're interested in signing. I think Solskjaer's already told Ed Woodward, what to go and do in January. Solskjaer could still be Manchester United manager in January. It depends on how things go until January, doesn't it? Now, obviously, it says we're going to go back in for Jadon Sancho in January. Jadon Sancho was our number 1 priority target in the summer transfer window, wasn't he? Ousmane Dembele also says we could go back in for him in January. Don't forget, during the summer transfer window, we inquired about getting him on loan. Erling Haaland could also go in for him next year. It recently said that we revived our interest in Jack Grealish. Daya Upamecano, I think we're going to go in for him next summer because he's confirmed he's going to be leaving RB Leipzig next summer. Don't forget he's going to be available for around £36 million. He said the other week that we was interested in David Carmo from Braga. And Dan Axel Zagadou, he says we were interested in him from Dortmund. So yeah, but I think Manchester United need a centre-half and we also need a right winger. So they are the two priorities. Now, the players I want us to get rid of next year is Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rojo, Phil Jones. I think Romero should go because Romero is now our third choice goalkeeper. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, I think he needs to go. I think Matic, he needs to go because he's actually lost his place in the team, hasn't he? Juan Mata, he could go next year. Daniel James possibly could go next year. You know, Daniel James was out of form. He'd made an impact though when he came on yesterday against Istanbul Başakşehir, got his name on the score sheet. But his appearances are limited now. But despite that, Daniel James said he's happy at Man United. Brandon Williams, there's rumours saying that he could go out on loan in January. And it says Southampton are interested. Williams came on yesterday against Başakşehir. He's played in both of our Carabao Cup games, but he's not yet played in the Premier League this season. Brandon Williams has lost his place in the team. He's obviously now our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. And a lot of United fans were expecting Paul Pogba to leave next year. Obviously, Dean Henderson, there's rumours of him going out on loan in January. He said he wanted to go out on loan in January, but Solsjaer said prior to the game against Başakşehir that Dean Henderson wants to stay and he wants to play for Manchester United. So there you go. But like I've said to you time and time again, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not been backed enough at the football club and he does deserve more backing. He wasn't backed enough during the summer transfer window and Ole revealed a few times that he was very frustrated with the board. Our board have backed none of the managers that we've had since Ferguson left. The board's been one of the problems at the club for several years. So, obviously, not all of the blame stems from Ole. If we did sack him, it wouldn't really solve much, would it? He's been at the club now, Solskjaer, for almost 2 years. I think next month will be his 2-year anniversary. This is his second full season at Manchester United. And I did say, didn't I, if we could finish in the top 4 this season, and if we could win a trophy, that would represent a very, very good season for Man United. And then that would give us something to build on. Ole has managed over 100 games as Manchester United manager in all competitions. He has got a contract with the football club until 2022. And I have taken positives from his tenure. I think he's made some good signings since he became Man United manager. He has spent over £200 million and he's enjoyed like 4 transfer windows. We've also seen a lot of players leave the football club since he got recommended in. We've seen the likes of Lukaku leave, Ander Herrera. They're 2 players we shouldn't have got rid of. We saw the likes of Fellaini leave, Darmian, Smalling, Angel Gomez, Sanchez, Valencia, Ashley Young. Don't forget we've also loaned a few players out. We loaned Tahith Chon out, James Garner, Dylan Levitt. We also loaned Diego Dalot out, and we loaned Andres Pereira out, and we loaned Joe Pereira out again, I think, for another season. So he's got rid of quite a bit of the deadwood. Solsjaer did well last season, his first full season, because he guided us to 3 semi-finals. Also got us qualification for the Champions League. And he got us a 3rd place finish, and that's the second highest we've finished since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And Solskjaer has showed a lot of tactical flexibility in a lot of the big games, because our record against the top 6 sides has been pretty good since he came in, especially last season, because last season Solskjaer beat Guardiola 3 times, he beat Lampard 3 times, he's beaten Jose Mourinho once, he's beaten PSG twice as Man United manager, he's beaten Julian Nagelsmann, he's beaten Brendan Rodgers, so there you go. And we've had some good periods under him as well. We're in a good period at the moment, unbeaten in his last 3. Went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season. Did well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. So there you go. So they are the positives you can take. Solskjaer is inheriting a lot of players from the Jose Mourinho era. Still a few players here from the Van Gaal era. Still 1 player here from the Moyes era. And there's only 2 players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Solskjaer knew when he took over the reins at Manchester United. At Manchester United. That it was going to be a big job for him, because Man United is such a big club. We know Solskjaer knows the club inside out, because he was a great player for the football club for 11 years, if flourished under Ferguson's guidance. But I still don't think he's good enough as a manager, so my perceptions on him as a manager is totally contrast to how he was as a player. Because as a manager, he hasn't got that proven pedigree. Manchester United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. But what I'm saying in regards to Solskjaer, I hope I'm proven wrong, and I hope he succeeds at the football club. Maybe he does deserve a bit more time, doesn't he? Now, there's players at Manchester United that have really, really impressed me this season. I've got to be honest with you, Marcus Rashford, he's really, really impressed me. Rashford, scored the penalty yesterday against Istanbul Başakşehir. He was actually playing on that right-hand side, was Marcus Rashford. Very rarely plays there. But I think he's better out wide anyway, Marcus Rashford, than he is centrally. Rashford also got an assist against Everton the other week. He also scored a hat-trick against RB Leipzig. He became the 2nd Man United player to score a hat-trick as a substitute. He also scored late on against Paris, 2nd time he'd done that, and he scored a few goals in the league this season. But definitely aspects of Rashford's game's improved. His finishing's improved, his scoring goals. He's good at getting runs in behind now as well. Rashford just recently come back from a shoulder problem. This is why he was quite poor against West Brom, because he didn't look fully fit. Now, like I said, I've been very, very impressed with Bruno Fernandes. I've been impressed with Donny van de Beek when he's played. I've been also very, very impressed with Fred. Fred's undroppable at the moment. Fred was very, very good against Istanbul Başakşehir yesterday. Kept the ball well, dictated the play. And in general, he's just improved under the Solskjaer era. We paid £47 million for Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk, but Fred was an exceptional player at Shakhtar Donetsk. Alex Telles, he's really impressed me so far. Telles was very, very good yesterday against Istanbul Başakşehir. That was his 2nd appearance in the Champions League and his 3rd appearance in all competitions. Telles was good against West Brom as well, and he was good on his Champions League debut against PSG. We got Telles for like 15.4 million with add-ons included. What? Yeah. And Telles signed a 4-year contract at the football club. Yeah, I said he was going to be a very, very good signing. Harry Maguire, he's also really, really impressed me recently. You know, he's been very effective in the air. He's kept the ball well. He's been very, very confident. I think he's also been good from set pieces, Harry Maguire. But yeah, he did have early season troubles because he had that incident in Greece before the start of the season. You know, he had a few knocks and he got sent off in England's defeat to Denmark earlier on in the season. Harry Maguire is our current captain. We got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester in the summer of 2019. Victor Lindelof, you know, he's impressed me recently as well because he's enjoyed some good games. And I thought he was good yesterday against Besiktas, Victor Lindelof. But he's nowhere near on the same level as Maguire. And I do still have some concerns about Victor Lindelof. He's been at Man United now over 3 years, hasn't he? We got him for like £31 million from Benfica back in 2017. Now, Wan-Bissaka, he's impressed me in some games this season. He weren't great yesterday against Besiktas and he obviously weren't great against West Brom. But when he's played well, he's showed good attacking intent and his defensive contributions being good. This is Wan-Bissaka's second season at the club. De Gea, he's also really impressed me. You know, he's made good saves in quite a few games this season, but there's been games where he hasn't really had much to do. You know, yesterday, David De Gea didn't hardly have anything to do. I think he had to make like one world-class save in the game to deny Edin Visca. But I said, didn't I, David De Gea will remain our number one this season. You know, this is David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant. Edinson Cavani, he's really impressed me as well since he's come in. Cavani was good yesterday against Besiktas. Yesterday was his first start for Man United. I like the way he held up the play. He made dangerous runs. His link-up play at times was very good. Edinson Cavani was good against West Brom when he came on. He scored his first goal for the club in our 3-1 win against Everton, and he almost scored with his first touch when he came on against Chelsea, Edinson Cavani. You know, I said, didn't I, you know, Ollie's obviously got to start him. Hopefully he can start on Sunday against Southampton. If he does, that will be his full Premier League debut for the club. So yeah, you know, they are the players that have impressed me. Now, Martial, he hasn't been great this season. I think yesterday against Besiktas was his first good game this season, Anthony Martial's. Made some very good runs. Obviously, Martial was playing on that left-hand side yesterday. And to be honest with you, I think he'll stay now in that position because that's where he's more effective. He was obviously playing centrally a lot last season. And he was doing well in that central position quite a lot. But I think we'll keep him out wide now, Anthony Martial. Solsjaer obviously explained why he was struggling this season prior to the Besiktas game. Mainly down to that 3-match suspension that he had in the Premier League. He shouldn't have been sent off though anyway against Tottenham. Martial was good last season under Ollie and he was very good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial's enjoyed a good 5 years or so now at the football club. Now, Mason Greenwood, I ain't had much of a perception on him this season because obviously he's had injuries and he's had personal issues and stuff like that. But Solskjaer's been defending Greenwood in, you know, recent weeks and Solskjaer said like he's enjoyed a fantastic year. Greenwood was out with illness recently, but he came off the bench yesterday and he got an assist for Daniel James's goal. So, yeah, he's definitely the foreseeable future for Manchester United. But I can give you more of a perception on Greenwood as we delve more into the season, obviously. Matic, I haven't been too impressed with him. You know, like I said, he's lost his place in the team now. Paul Pogba, he's been very inconsistent. Paul Pogba's out with injury at the moment, as you all know. Pogba's obviously unhappy at the football club, like Solskjaer's confirmed, and Didier Deschamps, the France manager, he's been talking a lot about Paul Pogba recently. And You know, Pogba made a few comments, didn't he, saying like this season's been the most difficult period in his career. And he said that playing for France is a breath of fresh air. And in general, he was just talking about his struggles at Man United this season. Pogba wasn't happy when we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, was he? Daniel James, yeah, he made an impact when he came on yesterday, but prior to that game, he has been out of form. But there again, you know, hasn't played a lot this season. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.